Who is too young or too old for you to date? We will examine the results of a scientific research graphically. What is the acceptable minimum age for your own dating partners? When this question comes up in conversation, someone inevitably cites the half-your age plus 7 rule. This rule states that, by dividing your own age by 2 and then adding 7, you can find the socially acceptable minimum age of anyone you want to date. So if you're a 24-year-old, you can feel free to be with anyone who is at least 19. Other side of the rule defines a maximum age boundary. Take your age, subtract 7, and double it. So for a 24-year-old, the upper age limit would be 34. With some quick math, the rule provides a minimum and maximum partner age based on your actual age that, if you choose to follow it, you can use to guide your dating decisions. A chart of the rule's max and min partner age discrepancies based on a person's actual age. The utility of this equation is that it lets you chart acceptable age discrepancies that adjust over the years. According to the rule, for example, a 30-year-old should be with a partner who is at least 22, while a 50-year-old's dating partner must be at least 32 to not attract social sanction. But how legitimate is this rule? Does it match our scientific understanding of age-related preferences for dating? Does it always apply? Should it ever? Let's examine it. Men's preferred minimum partner age. Let's start with minimum age preferences reported by men. In this figure, the solid black line represents the rule's calculation for minimum acceptable range. You can see that men are basically operating by the rule for minimum age preferences for marital relationships and serious dating relationships. Those age preferences consistently hover around the values denoted by the rule. If anything, in practice men are more conservative when it comes to preferred marriage, preferring a minimum age higher than the rule would say is okay. A chart of the rules. Male participants' minimum preferred partner age as compared to the rule. When it comes to sexual fantasies, however, men have minimum age preferences that are younger than the rule would designate appropriate. Men's preferred maximum partner age. The rule states that you can calculate maximum acceptable partner ages by subtracting 7 from your own age and multiplying it by 2. This figure clearly shows that the rule's max age guidelines for men do not reflect real-world preferences. The rule overestimates the perceived acceptability of men becoming involved with older women. Men do not show a linear increase in maximum age preference that matches the rule's predictions. Instead, men report maximum acceptable partner ages that hover around their own age through their 40s. After 40, maximum age preferences for most categories remain lower than their own age. Thus, the rule for maximum ages is fairly ineffective at capturing what men actually believe is acceptable. Does the rule work for women? The minimum rule, half your age plus 7, seems to work for men, although the maximum rule falls short, failing to reflect empirical age-related preferences. How well does the rule capture women's preferences? Women's preferred minimum partner age. In general, the figure shows that women are reporting minimum age preferences that exceed the rule's predictions. In other words, while the rule states that 40-year-old women can feel comfortable dating 27-year-old men, this does not reflect the social preferences and standards of women. Women in their 40s think that approximately 35 or older is acceptable for marriage or a relationship. Even when fantasizing, such women's minimum age preference remains over 30. The rule's calculated minimum acceptable partner ages seem to fit men better than women. Women's preferred maximum partner age. Examining maximum preferences, again the rule is more lenient, offering an age range with which most people are not comfortable. The rule states that it is acceptable for 30-year-old women to date men who are up to 46 years old, but in actuality, 30-year-old women state that their max acceptable partner age would be less than 40, around 37. The rule underestimates women's reported preferences in their 20s, but the gap between reports of what is socially acceptable and the rule itself widen over time. How effective is the rule? Curious outsiders are quick to judge when they can see a wide age gap between two romantic partners. Maybe this is why the rule is so appealing. In a world in which many social norms are often unspoken, the half your age plus 7 rule concretely defines a boundary. But the rule does not map perfectly onto actual reports of what is socially acceptable. At times it is too stringent, but most often it appears too lenient, condoning age pairings with which most people are not comfortable. So if you are following the half your age plus 7 rule, know that it may not be perfect or truly mirror age-related preference. You might also take care to refer to the maximum age judiciously. The minimum age guideline seems to be more on target, and more so for men than women. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.